drink barium, where he studies my intestines. If anyone's ever had intestinal surgery or, even like their, appendix taken out. Have you ever drinking barium before?
Yeah, for my kidneys.
Yes, for your kidneys, I'm sure you have. It's where they can, x-ray you and they can see everything inside of you. And they came to the conclusion that, like, if you take a hose and you bend a hose. Easy now, filthy minds. If you take a hose and you turn, and you bend it and you crank the hose where the hose is cranked and the water won't flow through. I had actually 2 spots that were really bad and 1 small one. So I had 3 spots in my intestines that were actually cranked for almost 2 years. And then, like, once I had my surgery done and it went back in, it was just an issue. And there's 2 parts of my intestines that are really small. And we discovered that, like, red meat is what I cannot digest and can't eat. So since then, I haven't eaten any steak. And it's cool because once I stopped eating red meat, my body started changing immediately. And right now, it's been a big kayfabe because I
can tell you a lot leaner.
Yeah, it's been a big kayfabe. I'm waiting till I appear in a wrestling ring again before I show everybody with my shirt off because they're definitely going to be surprised by it.
So because you couldn't digest properly and you had those blockages in your intestines, would it be accurate to say that you were full of shit at that time?
Yeah.
Yes, it would.
Sure. And not only was I full of shit at that time, I'm full of shit right now.
Yeah, that's our prognosis.
But no, that's basically what happened. And people could even see, like, towards the end of my WWE run, I was starting to become thinner. Like the last television match I had against Alberto Del Rio, actually, I was much thinner. My physical body and appearance had definitely started to change a little bit. But right now, I feel great. I look great, and just cutting out steaks not a real big deal. I eat chicken, I eat shrimp, I eat fish.
Is
that a plug?
Yeah.
That you look great.
You look great. Yeah, that'd be.
I'm gonna throw that in there.
It is. I actually do look great right now.
Fabulous.
Fabulous looking.
Fabulous.
Son of a bitch.
But the one thing that I was going to go into and actually say is that this is what people tune into this show to see. So I'm going to give it to them.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put the I'm going to give the exclusive scoop to Highway to Helms, nobody else.
Bam.
People ask about the show that went down in we wrestled in Binghamton. Where was the next night at? White Plains. Whenever we wrestled in White Plains, people said that I was sent home from the show. I was never sent home from White Plains. Never sent home from White Plains at all. Let me tell you exactly.
Fabrication.
What happened was that morning we flew to Binghamton, New York, and I wrestled that night, myself and R-Truth against CM Punk and Luke Gallows. Is he still working now?
I have no idea.
I think he does. Myself and R-Truth versus CM Punk and Luke Gallows. We had a great match. The next night, they were actually drug testing in White Plains. And because someone had reportedly called Johnny and said that the morning of the flight the night before, although I wrestled that night, said that they thought that maybe I had some sort of issue. Some stooge said I had an issue. They drug tested me that night, and they wouldn't let me wrestle until I took the drug test. And that's the reason I didn't wrestle that night. I was actually there until the end of the show. Well, I took the drug test, and I passed. Completely clean, positive, no issue at all. So, no, I was never sent home from White Plains. I was there, and the WWE and whoever the stooge was is the reason I didn't wrestle. And if you do think that it was a big issue, then obviously I was sent overseas after that. I went overseas, wrestled every night of the tour. On the 3rd night of the tour, whenever I was doing my stretching and warming up, I took my prescription medication, which the doctor had prescribed for me. And as I was actually stretching and warming up, there was a point where I nodded a couple times, and someone had made a note of it and said, "Hey, well, I don't know, is Matt messed up? Because I noticed he was nodding off while I was over here stretching." And I said, "No, I'm cool, I'm fine." And I didn't know why the medication was having that effect on me. I went and wrestled that night. I was absolutely fine. Dolph Ziggler and I, anyone who was there at the show, I'm trying to think where we were in Minehead. Anyone who was in Minehead will actually absolutely say that myself and Dolph Ziggler, we had a great match that night. I worked that night, got on a bus, drove about 4 hours. We stayed overnight, drove 4 hours the next day, went to the next show. Whenever we got to the show the next day, I'd already done a meet and greet, and I actually got a call from the office, and they said they were going to send me home because they heard the day before that I was like nodding off, and they were wondering if there was some sort of issue because they got a call before, even though I did completely pass the drug test and there was no negatives in it, and they just weren't going to let me wrestle that night. And the next morning, they were going to send me home.
The day that you were supposedly nodding off and all that, you still wrestled that
absolutely
night.
And had the match of the night.
Match of the night.
Right. And I'll say that with confidence. And it was the next day when I was totally fine, hadn't taken 0 of my medicine, and they said, okay, well, we heard yesterday there was some sort of report, so, we're going to send you home in the morning. And instead of going to TV, I said, okay, well, that's, a little silly, especially considering that was yesterday, and I wrestled on the day that you spoke of. So anyway, I flew home, and then at that point, it was definitely clear on my mind. I said, dude, I want out. I don't want to wrestle anymore. I'd already asked for my release twice before that already, and tried to do it very, in a very amicable way, because I knew, like, they didn't have anything for me. When myself and Christian got turned down, our angle was shut down, I was like, it's time for me to go. It's time for me to get out of here. Because I already had the Hardy show. I actually have a reality show concept I'm working on with right now. I have 3 or 4 other projects, and I'm very excited to be working on them. And, myself and Shane, we actually have a couple things that, we're talking about, working together on as well. And it's just exciting and it's fun. And, I'm not here talking trash about the WWE because, dude, I made millions of dollars when I worked for the WWE. I mean, and I did well when I was there, So I do appreciate that. But it's just a different time. It's a different era. And I don't think they appreciated me for what I was and what I was worth. And also considering how hard I worked for them while injured and while, physically not being where I need to be, never missing a day. I only missed one day the whole while I was there. Do you know the only day I actually took off in my 12.5 years? The only day I took off is when Lita had surgery on her neck. That was the only day. Out of 12.5 years, the only day I took off was when Lita had neck surgery.
I'm glad she appreciated that.
She was very appreciative of it. She was so appreciative of it that she went and banged the Rated R Superstar.
Bam! Bam! Wow.
What the hell do you do?
Anyway, but long story short, that's where all the rumors got out. And whenever the rumors got out, that's when I started the Matthew character. And the Matthew character actually is coming to be right now because I've had, how many shots have we had?
About 16.
Not enough.
4 or 5, so.
BAM! We got some motherfucking
Grapes of Wrath.
Now that I've explained my story.
Sorry about that. That was corny.
That was fucking corny.
You ever seen Friday?
Yeah,
I've seen it several
after every
Fridays. Check this
Thursday,
out.
man. I see it.
How come every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen,
Because I like to eat, motherfucker.
eating up all the food, all the pig feet, all the hog maws. I like pig feet. I like hog maws. Them motherfuckers are sour.
Matthew likes grapes.
Fuck Matthew.
Matthew!
You in between me and Champagne, we
Oh,
gonna
okay,
beat your motherfucking ass.
Now you have to. You have to earn it.
Hey man, get that sleepy out.
I'm not saying you won't.
Hey, look. I got my eye on
Look
it.
at Cyclops over there. That motherfucker will fuck your ass.
But anyway,
Fuck is that?
anyway, no, that is something, because people haven't known that and they want to know that. And
they do want to know that.
actually, after that overseas flight, I came home that Monday morning and I called Johnny. I said, dude, I really want to go. And it's time for me to move on. It's time for me to go somewhere else. I'm
Johnny Nitro?
no
Yeah.
Johnny Morrison.
Johnny Ace,
Johnny
Oh,
Morrison.
Johnny Ace.
the guy on the
Yeah.
skateboard.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny Ace.
But just because I've never done anything wrong the whole while.
Mr. Hot Tub.
And you can ask Dr. Maroon, how many drug tests did I fail from Dr. Maroon? Zero.
Oh, man, so what you're trying to tell me is you want to leave the WWE.
Yeah, and the thing is, I actually created the Matthew character, and I would go and I would drink a couple shots just like this.
Easy on the glass, brother.
Man.
It's okay. The glass is fine. And post silly videos, and I would eat great. This is my boy. You know what I mean?
Oh, God. Easy on the glass, brother.
And, posted a couple videos because really it took me, 2.5 or 3 weeks to actually get them to release me?
It took you a minute.
Because they would give me calls, they'd go, no, I mean, we just...
You're like one of the few guys to actually beat the WWE.
Yeah, I mean, it was very
Just got a
hard.
victory.
It was very hard to get released. And honestly, I'll have to tell you, I have to give credit because I actually called my lawyer, and I had my lawyer call the WWE lawyer, and I think with Linda running for office is the reason I was able to get out. Because I still had about a year left on my contract. But I was able to get out and able to be free because I had to go my own direction. It was time for Matt Hardy to go somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So
That was the thing, too. Like, there was a moment, like, I know when I left, I was ready to leave, and this is something we'll go more.
Benoit. I want to talk about Benoit in a second.
Okay, we will. There was, just remind us, Marty. There was, before I'd ever got released, before me and Jericho had the rock and roll cab ride, which Matt was there. He didn't run. Shit was over. He just left. Throwing it out there. You know, I actually talked to Johnny. I was like, dude, I mean, I was on that fucking rotten ass ECW show. I hated it. It was fucking awful. And I was like, and my words to Johnny was like, dude, I'm not a JV guy. I'm fucking on varsity. I need to be out there. I need to be fucking playing. I don't need to be on this bullshit ass show. It's rotten. Trying to get these FCW guys over because they can't get over by their fucking self. I don't want, you know, I'd already talked about wanting my release. And so, but I didn't want to leave the way that I did leave. I wanted to leave on a fucking high note, right. You know, doing something good. I deserved that. I broke my neck working for that company. And them fucking assholes, they should have gave me a little bit more. You know, like, I broke my neck. I could have died. You know, fucking Triple H tore a muscle, and like he got shot out of a fucking cannon from the moon to the earth and gave him that comeback. Mm-hmm. My injury was so much worse than most of the injuries that ever fucking happened in that company.
Not to interrupt you, but I'm going to say, like, he broke his neck, and he worked 2 months. At least, how far was it?
Actually, it was almost 4 months.
Almost 4 months. I know it was 2 or 3 months. It was almost 4 with a broken neck. And I remember seeing him in pain because we traveled together. And I noticed his tricep was atrophying, and he was beat up. And I would say, dude, like, you're all right? Like, man, I don't think you're healthy. And he's like, no, I'm okay. I'm okay. And that's the mentality because they just train you, and it's not, and we want to, too. We try to. It's the mentality there. Because you just, regardless of how bad you're hurt or beat up, you just go. You go, go, go. Exclamation point on the end of all those. You know what I mean? I mean, Shane was so beat up and so hurt, and he was a different person. And the fact is because he was working with a broken neck for 4 months.
Yeah, and like I say, I mean, when fucking Hunter tears a muscle, if you compare spinal injury to a muscle tear, it's not even in the same ballpark. It's not the same sport. It's not no way even fucking close. And I was just like, you know, I mean, when I came back, and I mean, I appreciate the fans remember me right away, and they said, welcome back, and all that kind of shit. You know, I remembered all that, but, like, I was so ready to go. I just didn't want to leave the way I left, you know, that whole deal with all that shit, you know. I didn't go beat up my husband in a fucking hotel and get a $15,000 bond. I got a $25 citation. And they try to put me on blast like that, you know. That's the only thing I hate. But there was a moment, months later, when I just felt like the weight of the world lifting off my shoulder. And I was like, I can do whatever the fuck I want now. Yeah. You know.
Actually, it was a $20,000 bond.
Oh, it wasn't a $20,000 bond. Yeah, okay. I got a $25 citation. $20,000 bond, and you're only European now.
I wonder why that happened.
Oh yeah, we know why that happened, Mr. Hot Tub.
We do know why that happened, Mr. Hot Tub.
So you know, that was my only regret, the way it happened. You know I put a lot of time on the clock there. You know, I never asked for any time off ever. You know, I mean, I would come there. I would come there just fucked up, bone, you know, just hurt, and like him, you know, just never take time off. And the way I was treated toward the end, I was like so ready to go. I love, and that's one thing I always, you know, and like Matt said, you know, I had a million great times there. You know, a million great fucking times there. But toward the end, it's a different company now. It's a different company.
It really is.
And it goes into talent relations is what's making it what it is. And I'll just say publicly, I think Vince is getting worked. Yeah. I think Vince is the mark now. He's getting fucking totally worked by the guys in talent relations.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty big.
I mean, if there's ever been a time for TNA to strike, the time is now.
Yeah.
The time is definitely now. Because there's so much. There's so much with the WWE that is going on that shouldn't be going on, that obviously a lot of people don't know about, you know, that we know about just because we have, you know, we've worked there and we have, you know, inside connections. But I'll tell you, you spent $53 on an election. You know, there was the WBF, there was the XFL, there was the election.
Like, that's the thing I hate about, like, Vince.
The thing I hate
he's not even just good at wrestling. He's great at wrestling. Stick to what you fucking know. And how much money do you need, you greedy fucking bastard?
And the thing I hate is, you know who pays for those bills when, you know, the campaign money comes out or the XFL money comes out? The guys that are wrestling there.
The talent.
Because the deal is, the reason they want to do a youth movement is because they have younger guys who are going to make a minimum amount of money, and they're on minimum downside guarantees. Like, I was fortunate to have a good downside guarantee because I've been around for a while. But the guys who are on these minimum downside guarantees, that's the guys that they're going to keep around and pay.
Totally.
So the less they have to pay the guys, the more money they get, and the more money they can do with whatever they want to do. You know, it's just become a different